Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Breath live stream where we start our day with coherence. My name is Jeremy Tennell, and I am your host, systems designer, and coherence coach. This is week 4, day 18 of our 14-week journey entitled The Path of Personal Transformation. Today, we are discussing pattern interruption. Over the past 2 days this week, we've slowed things down. We talked about activation on Monday, and then we talked about pause yesterday. But here's where the work really digs in. Awareness does not change the pattern. The pause does not change things either. They only give you access to the pattern itself. If nothing changes in the moment, the pattern still runs in the background. Patterns are not random. They are learned responses, reinforced over time. Your system has practiced them again and again and again until they feel natural, until they feel like you. But most patterns are not identity. They're not woven deeply into the hardware. They are repetition. A repetition that creates a predictability somatically, emotionally, and mentally. Your mind and body and ego want to run over the same ground over and over again because it understands it. It doesn't have to reinterpret it. You can have the best intentions in the world, to be patient and to be present in the moment, to respond differently than you have in the past. But when activation happens and the pattern is locked in and you do not interrupt it, you will default. Not because you want to or because your system, is trained to. It's designed to, because you've designed it by not stepping in. If you pause, you catch the activation, you feel it. And then you still do the same thing. Same tone, same edge, same reaction. Because even with awareness and even with space, the pattern wasn't interrupted. That's the moment we all miss. Pattern interruption is not about complex, but it is uncomfortable. It means doing something different. That when your system expects to do one thing, you pause and do something different. Not better or perfect, but different. That might look like not repeating the same thing, or not responding immediately, or perhaps lowering your voice rather than raising it. Maybe asking a question instead of making a statement, or choosing silence in the moment rather than filling that space. These are small shifts, but they break the sequence. When you interrupt a pattern, your system resists. Because patterns are efficient, they are familiar, and they are predictable. So when you do something different, it can feel awkward, and it can feel forced and inauthentic. But that discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is changing. From a systems perspective, patterns are reinforced loops. We've talked about the signal and the pattern and the response. But after that comes the reinforcement over time. Each time the loop runs, it strengthens itself. An interruption breaks that reinforcement cycle so that what we get is something like signal, pause, new response, new pattern over time. Even those new patterns someday will need to be reflected and paused. That new action that you introduce, though, is variability into the system. And variability is what allows the system to evolve. Without interruption, the system stabilizes around old patterns. With interruption, the system begins to reorganize. Self-regulation is not about noticing. It's not just about pausing. It is also about the ability to change your behavior in the moment. This is where regulation becomes visible, because regulation is not what you feel, it is what you do. Today is about just one thing. I want you to catch the pattern, and I want you to interrupt it. Not every time today, and not perfectly, but at least once. Because that one interruption is enough to begin changing your system. And maybe you start with a pattern that doesn't even feel like something you need to change. You just do something different. Maybe you don't talk in the board meeting, or perhaps you respond differently in an email. Change one pattern today. Our journaling prompt today is, what is one reaction pattern I see repeating in my life? I want you to take 5 minutes today with your journals and write that question down. What is one reactionary pattern I see repeating in my life? And then go deeper. When it shows up, what is the different action that I can take to interrupt it? I'm going to show you a very specific breath technique today. This technique is called the Quick Coherence Tool from the Institute of Heart Math. And we've talked briefly about them. The Institute of Heart Math has been doing studies on heart rate variability, heart-brain connection, and the electromagnetic biofield for over 30 years. They are a private scientific institute that does remarkable work. They publish dozens of studies in reputable peer-reviewed papers, and they've pioneered much of the connection between breath, heart, and brain activity. This quick coherence tool is going to sound quite familiar because it's the foundation of what it is we've been doing, but I want to be very specific. I'm going to use the exact language from HeartMath's manual, because this quick coherence tool is designed in the moment for you to snap into awareness, recognition, pause, and then be able to change the pattern. So step one is focus your attention in the area of your heart. We do that every day. We place our hand over our heart because we're targeting that area. And then imagine your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area. I find one of the best ways to do that for myself is to imagine that as the breath comes in through my nose, it comes down and it spirals around my heart in one direction. And then as I exhale, it begins to spiral in the other and back out through my mouth. We're going to be breathing a little slower than usual, about 5.5 to 6 seconds in and about 5.5 to 6 seconds out. The second step is we're going to make a sincere attempt to experience a regenerative feeling such as appreciation or care for someone or something in your life. So in these practices, I generally recommend gratitude, but anything that cultivates a positive emotional response so that you are lighting up the neurons that exist in your heart, the 50,000 neurons that exist in your heart, and you are coherently connecting them through the vagus nerve to the trillion or so neurons that are in your brain. That is creating coherence in your heart rate variability, the information that exists in between each heartbeat. So let's go ahead and give it a try. We're going to put our feet on the ground and we're going to shimmy our hips and roll our shoulders back and place our hand over our heart. We're going to breathe in one large breath and out with a sigh. Again. Now, as we breathe in, imagine the breath coming in and spiraling around your heart. And as you breathe out, it spirals the other direction and out your mouth. Here we go. Relax your gaze, relax your cheeks. Relax your forehead and your shoulders. Begin your gratitude inventory in your mind. I am thankful for. Start small and spiral outward. When your mind wanders, return to your breath and your gratitude. Stay with it. Imagine that breath spiraling around your heart. With the next inhale, exhale with a sigh. Come back into the space. Taking time on a daily basis to cultivate coherence, to regulate your system, allows you to create new patterns. And over time, your body remembers and it responds differently. In the middle of stress, in the middle of anxiety, your body automatically will turn to self-regulation only if you practice. Practice is the key to transformation. If you're just joining us today, or if you caught us here at the end, this is a 14-week journey on the path of personal transformation. Perhaps there's something in your life that you want to change. Surely there is, because all of us have something we want to change. Maybe we want to change the way we respond. Maybe we want to change the way we move through life or the outcomes we seem to keep finding ourselves in. Change happens whether you are sitting in the driver's seat or not. The one constant in the universe is change. If you want to change in a positive manner, in a way that is going to create coherence in your life, resilience in your life, then you need to learn the tools to do it. And one of the things about our society, globally, is that it does not teach these tools in our K-12 education or in our home or even in most of our religious practices, and certainly not in our workplace. Join me Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. right here, and we will spend about 15 minutes, a little bit of time in learning and a little bit of time in practice. I hope to see you tomorrow at 5:30. Thanks for joining me.